think Alabama was one and one other team, and then it seemed like everybody else won by 30 points or more, so it wasn't a good Saturday for us.
Let's look ahead to NFL week number 3. This is crazy. Is it good for sports betting? Is it good for the books when games in the NFL pop up that are 21.5, 22.5? Does that cut down on action?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because no one really knows exactly how bad the worst teams are, but this is almost going back to I guess it was the 70s when Tampa Bay first got a team, and they were regularly, 20, 22, 23, 24-point underdogs with Lucius and Leroy Selman anchoring the defense, but they didn't have any offense that could do anything. So it really it dissuades people from betting the favorites, although we did have a little bit of action this last weekend on New England, but we're not going to get much play on any of the dogs. Once we have the wrong number up, the wise guys will come in on the dogs over here at Treasure Island. But right now, we haven't seen what that market point spread should be to start getting action on the underdog.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think it might be. I've talked to a couple people who think that maybe like 24 in this spot with Miami could be the spot where they come in and start to take some points with the Dolphins. But like you alluded to, it seems really tough to get guys to be attracted to a team that has looked lifeless in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, to me, all it ends up doing is pushing teams like New England and Dallas, and it kind of sends them in here betting future book bets, and it's a way for them maybe to skip a week where they don't feel like they have to have action, and they can wait till there's a better matchup and a shorter point spread. But right now, when you look at teams like New England and Dallas, you almost feel like, guess what, they're no worse than a wild card and probably going to end up winning their division. So for us, it's kind of a deal breaker, but it puts a lot more emphasis on all the other games. And some of the games we have this weekend are pretty good matchups. And then we got a couple other games that are going to create, not a whole lot of interest. So we'll see what happens as the week goes on. More and more information will come out. And right now that's what I've been doing, is checking this injury wire to see which of these offensive and defensive linemen are out, as well as all the big publicity we've seen on these quarterbacks.
So we've had a rash of quarterback injuries, but we've also had one benching. What's the difference here between Daniel Jones and Eli Manning, in your opinion? Was there any change in the number?
Not that much. I don't think Eli's been what you'd call a Super Bowl type quarterback for the last couple of years. Didn't make much of an adjustment. Right now, the predicament is all the other quarterbacks that have gone to the wayside. I think maybe the reindeer might be a little bit better than what people might think, Rudolph. But, it's just one of those deals. It's hard to make these adjustments because we really don't know what another week's worth of practice is going to be like. Upside, maybe Teddy Bridgewater might be better, but is he still mangled enough that he can't move around enough in the pocket to dodge the young guys that will be rushing him this week?
It's early in the week, so not an easy question to answer, but what do you think is going to be the most heavily bet on game in the NFL? Could it be Ravens-Chiefs? Is it Sunday Night Football with the Rams and the Browns, Texans-Chargers? Anything else jump out? What's the biggest game?
Well, our big game, of course, that morning is going to be Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
When you go back to the afternoon, we were talking about that today. The big watch game is everybody's going to want to see what New Orleans brings up to Seattle. Big road game, and just kind of see how the pieces fit in there. We're sitting at 3.5 minus $1.20. Most of the rest of the world's using 4 or 4.5. The other game's going to be Houston and the Chargers. Don't know exactly how that's going to shake out. And then Pittsburgh, San Francisco. I think we're going to see a lot of action down here on San Francisco, not as much as what they'll get up there in Reno. I don't know whether the coach with the Steelers is going to be able to coach them up to a level to win over there in the Bay Area.
It's Tony Nevill with us here on Cofield Company, ESPN Las Vegas. Tony, of course, the book boss down at the TI. We're going to be at the Golden Circle tomorrow with the live Cofield and Company show. So tell people, for local football fans, what's cooking in terms of specials and other promotions at Golden Circle. I know you guys do Gillies up pretty big, the book. So what's going on down there?
Well, one of the things we always talk about over here, and it looks like the rest of the world's coming back around to us, is we've always had free parking here. You can park in our parking garage. It's right off Spring Mountain Road. Come down the escalator there by the Mystere Theater, and as you walk about another 40 feet into the building past the Mystere, we have the Golden Circle Bar. They have $12 super plate of nachos with an ice cold beer during the games, which hits the spot. Everybody pretty much can do either chicken or beef nachos.
Nice.
And then we have 3 big screens up inside the Golden Circle Bar. We typically show the 3 biggest games at 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 7:30. And along with that, we have self-service kiosk in the Golden Circle. So if you don't want to come down to the book, you can roll off your bar stool over there. We've got about 8 different imported beers on tap, as well as all the domestics. Got a great cheeseburger and a hamburger like most other sports bars do, but good camaraderie, a good place to come meet friends from out of town or bring friends from around town, because it's easy on, easy off over there here off of Spring Mountain Road, whether you're coming from the north or coming from the south.
People should also know that Mr. Ruffin has decorated the place with the collectibles museum. There's amazing stuff down there, especially from the fight game.
Yeah, a great photo of Muhammad Ali with his great championship knockdown fight where he's standing over Mr. I think it's Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston, yeah.
And, man, what a great photograph it is. And the story behind that photograph is that the kid that took the photograph was on the other side of the ring. The old-time photographer said, "You got to move to the other side, kid. You haven't been in the business long enough." And when you look at the picture, you see the old-timer's face with this young kid getting a photo that lasted and was iconic and has lasted decades after decades, Steve.
Tony, good spot. We'll see you out there tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Steve. Thank you.
There you go. Tony Nevill, boss of the book down at the TI. We're going to be at the Golden Circle from 3 until 6 with the live show. So come on down, watching a little playoff drive baseball. We'll see what else is on the tubes there at the Golden Circle. Outstanding spots.